It's December 29th, 2024. Merry Christmas and soon to be Happy New Year. I'm with Mr. John Jeckovich, World War II veteran, highly decorated. And he's, yes sir, he's knocking on the door of 100 years old. You're looking awfully chipper today, Mr. Jeckovich.
Chipper, huh?
You're looking well.
Reminding me he's got the
You got yourself a $375 new sweater on. You got new
$275.
Yes,
That sweater's old.
No, that just came in today. You're looking quite well. How are you feeling?
Good.
There's good days and bad days. Is you having a good day or bad day today?
Good day.
Good day. Like the other day you said.
Had Amber here all day.
Yeah, let's talk about it. You had beautiful Zach. Zach is his grandson, a really nice young man with great integrity. He drove about 70, 80 miles with Holly to spend some time with Mr. Jeckovich. Did Zach make you smile, make you laugh?
Oh yeah.
He's got a lot of great mannerisms, and he's a really nice young man to be around, and so was Holly. They're great people. And then Amber, she was here most of the day too.
Yeah.
Amber is not a granddaughter, she's a great-granddaughter. And she's a wonderful girl. She's a full-time missionary, devoted her life to the Lord. And she travels the world, both with the Bible and surfing. Amber doesn't live right next door. She's still about a good 45 minutes away. She lives on A1A, and she can roll out of bed. She's on the ocean and go surfing every day. So when she comes here, it's not an easy task, because when you're traveling down A1A, that's the road that runs on the ocean, it's millions of tourists.
Yeah.
It's always bumper to bumper. But Amber's been making it here for the last, I'd say 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 times a day. And Amber makes you happy and smile, right?
Yeah.
You and Amber do a lot of things together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what a nice young girl. Restores my faith in young people. It really does. Amber, as I said, surfs around the world. I don't think there's been a surfing country she hasn't been to. And she just got back at 3 months in California surfing, and Malibu and Oceanside. And she had a great time. But even though she rolls out of bed and she's on the ocean every day, she's always chasing a wave. It's called chasing a wave. She's on her way to Martinique. We'll miss her. Then from there to Australia. That's their summers now. So she'll enjoy the great waves and the summers in Australia. And then I think after some time there, she'll be in Hawaii. And on the way back, she's going to stop by and visit her long friend, a beautiful young girl in Nashville, Tennessee. Then we'll be lucky to have her back to see her again. We certainly will miss her. Doesn't Amber make you happy when she visits?
Oh yeah.
Very nice girl. How do you like Amber's mannerisms?
Yeah.
Very quiet, humble.
Yeah.
Right to the point. A nice girl. Zach's a great boy too. Zach is Amber's cousin, by the way. They get along great, like 2 peas in a pod. So today is a great day. Mr. Jeckovich is chipper. He's in good shape. Mr. Jeckovich can read the newspapers. With no glasses, he reads 3 papers a day. What's your favorite newspaper?
Wall Street Journal.
You enjoy that the most?
Yeah.
Did you read that today?
No, I don't get it anymore.
But did you have it here at the Liberty?
Yeah.
Did you read the whole thing?
Yeah.
So we'll get you on a subscription here. And so that's that. Mr. Jeckovich is in fine shape, reads the paper with no glasses, has enough strength in his handshake to knock you to the ground. He's doing quite well. And as I mentioned, he's knocking on the door of 100. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division during World War II. Affectionately, when he went into service with his division, they were called the Diaper Division. Why is that?
Oh, they're all young kids, 19 years old.
That's right. But once they're done fighting all the wars, primarily the bloodiest war, that's the Battle of the Bulge, the Diaper Division name was no longer used. They were called two things. One, the Bulge Busters, or two, the Bastards of Bastogne. They did a great job fighting. They ran Hitler's ass right back to where he belonged. Hitler later committed suicide, and the Germans were retreating, not at 100 at a time, thousands and 10,000s at a time. So for argument's sakes, the European theater was over. Lots and lots and lots of casualties. A lot of people, young soldiers, maimed for life. During the participation in World War II, there were 16,400,000 young men and women who gladly served in the services. And right now we're down to approximately 80,000 left, maybe a little bit less. And ones that are alive are in their late 90s and early hundreds. But in Mr. Jeckovich's situation, it's really unique because he was front line the whole time. Combat fighter. And we have less than 6,000 of those combat fighters left. And we're losing them at a rate of 150 a day. So the writing's on the wall, we all know that. So if you have any questions, you ask Mr. Jeckovich now via text, 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. Also, you could text them, as we say, from hometown, Hague Point to Husky Island, South Carolina. We talk a little differently there. Text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, be kind to strangers. You'll never know when you're entertaining an angel. So here we go. We're on, I need your dog tag number.
42965.
Sharp as a tack. These dog tag numbers is the ones that open up the laptop so I can read his book. As you know, we get 10, 20, 30 texts a day. Is where can I buy your book?
You can't buy it.
Can't buy it. Mr. Jeckovich's book has never been for sale, nor never will be for sale. It's just a labor of love showing youngsters what it was when life was easier. Mr. Jeckovich was a product of the Depression. He was born in 1925, October 17th, 1925. And when you were growing up, did you think you were missing anything?
No.
Didn't know anything.
No, I didn't think I was hungry, no.
You thought you were fine.
Had good Christmases and everything, yeah.
You thought you were in high cotton.
Yeah.
So Mr. Jeckovich's book is never for sale. He's financially strong, and 10 book sales, 1,000 book sales, 1 million book sales wouldn't change his bank account one single bit. But you could go to our readings for the last 2.5 years. There's over 400 podcasts, and they will take you from chapter 1 all the way up. And there is an original copy of Mr. Jeckovich's book at the World War II Museum in New Orleans. The original copies there and on display. However, Mr. Jeckovich's book is not for sale. It never was a purpose of money, never will be. But we're setting up a beautiful booth, an AI booth for Mr. Jeckovich at the World War II Museum. And once this is completed, we picked up his voice, his mannerisms, his face, his expressions. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you'll be able to ask Mr. Jeckovich's question and his AI will respond to you. But right now you have the real deal. Why wait? Ask and comment to Mr. Jeckovich any questions that you might have. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Jeckovich is highly decorated, Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars. And during World War II, Mr. Jeckovich was beat up, stabbed, shot by a sniper through his shoulder. Thank God it went through clearly. Bombed. He still has shrapnel in his legs. If Mr. Jeckovich would attempt to go on an airline today, the meters would go off, right? The metal detectors. And you have to carry some type of paperwork.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich also picked up frostbite and trench foot. Is your frostbite treated?
The frostbite's bothering me right now.
80 years later, when the weather drops, his frostbite will kick in. 80 years later. And also, after Mr. Jeckovich and a whole thousands of other military frontline fire kicked Hitler's ass back, they start breaking down the camps, releasing all the Jews, releasing all the American prisoners. The conditions were unthinkable, and it would be impossible to describe, but believe me, Mr. Jeckovich thinks about it many, many times a day, and so does everyone else. You going somewhere?
Yeah.
You going somewhere?
Huh?
Are you going somewhere? Are you here, or do you have to go somewhere?
No, I don't get it with him. He's still chair.
Okay. So he rents space in his head every day, and what they tell you when you're breaking the gates open of the concentration camps?
Don't feed him.
And why is that?
They're in poor condition.
They are absolutely horrible. They've seen bizarre medical experiments that went bad. Dad upon dad upon dad upon dad upon dad upon dad.
How did you break into the gates?
They had bolt cutters, tanks, bulldozers.
How'd you break into the tanks or into the camps?
Huh?
Would you guys?
How'd you break the fences down?
With pliers.
Yeah, and he ripped them down with bulldozers.
Shears, yeah.
So that's it. When no one even knew Mr. Jeckovich was a combat soldier until 3 years ago. Isn't that funny? We hear a little lot about World War II, but mostly what type of guys are the ones talking about the war?
Yeah.
Rear echelon.
Yeah.
What is rear echelon?
They're actually the ones that support the troops at the front.
They're important, but they never seen what the combat vets had.
Yeah.
They never seen what the combat vets had. So Mr. Jeckovich was hospitalized for many weeks in Paris, and then, and though you're still shot up, if your index finger can pull the trigger of the machine gun, and if you're able to walk, what are you considered?
Fit for duty.
Fit for duty. Tell us about once you're in the hospital for a long period of time, and you're finally able to have a phone service to call to your mother. What happened when you first reached her?
He started crying.
And then what?
He said, when are you going to come home and do some work around this house?
She was something, huh? She was something. Mr. Jeckovich went home for furlough for a few weeks. And she says, I got a whole list for you, right?
Yeah.
What'd she say to you?
He said, have supper now, I'll give you some orange juice, get busy on the work around this house. Nothing's been done here for a while.
She put you to work the same day. Yeah, a great example of young people, how they should be helping their parents. What percentage of your paycheck did you send home every week?
85%.
85%. 85%. That's almost everything. That's almost everything. So once you're released from the service obligation, the war was ended. The Pacific ended like a lot afterwards, but still it's officially ended. When you first got home, to 3063 Orleans Avenue. When you walked through that front door, what did you think?
I'm home.
But what did you think about your surroundings?
They're drippy,
You didn't like them?
Huh?
You didn't like your
No,
surroundings?
no. Well, I was used to all the stuff to see.
Yeah. And what was the first things that your mother said to you when you're done with the service?
Yeah, I was service.
Yeah, when you're out of service, what did your mother say to you?
Here's your work list.
And she wanted you to get the job right away, right?
Yeah,
The same day.
yeah,
And she stayed on top of you if you weren't getting a job quick enough, right?
yeah.
Did she say anything else?
She says, you drank that orange juice I had in the refrigerator.
She said you weren't going to be a freeloader.
Yeah,
Just a teenager, just got a 4 years of living hell. And she's giving him a work list.
yeah.
Isn't that something? But the book is based on their mother's sons. And it takes Mr. Jekovich's life from 11 years old to his retirement. And it shows how he cared for his mother, because his mother, the husband died at 43 because he was worked to death. He was an immigrant from Russia, and they would never accept anything unless they earned. And furthermore, they were never giving anything anyways. It's not like today, like these illegal immigrants today. They're trash compared to what developed this country 100 years ago. So Mr. Jekovich's father basically worked himself to death. What was the last job he was doing that day that he had a fatal heart attack at? What was he doing?
I was doing a project for school. It was overdue, so I was working on it. I told my father, I can't go with you today. I got to put this aside and have it in tomorrow morning. And he said, okay, I'll go.
And what work was he doing that day? What kind of work was your father doing that day?
He's working in a basement making a fruit cellar in there.
So he was doing cement work.
Yeah.
And so what happened next?
Well, he started mixing cement, and I told him, get a cement mixer. Right, want to buy one. Don't mix it by hand. You're killing yourself.
So he was old school. He was mixing the cement by hand.
Yeah.
Which is very hard to do.
Yeah.
And so when were you notified that your father died?
The police come to the house at 8 o'clock and say, your father got injured. We'd like to take you to the hospital, okay? We'll escort you down there.
So they drove you to the hospital. Did they go in the hospital with you?
No, they dropped me off.
Dropped you at the front door.
Yeah.
Dropped you at the front door. And then you went to the reception desk and you said, where's my father?
And she said, well, I'll direct you down. Follow me.
Okay, and you thought you were going upstairs because he might have had a broken
we went
leg.
downstairs, yeah.
And what was downstairs?
The morgue, downstairs.
Morgue. And what they asked you to do? Identify the body?
Identify the body, go through his pockets.
So they told you as a teenager, a young boy, to go through the pockets.
Yeah.
And what did you find in those pockets?
Oh, a couple dimes, a couple quarters, Prince Albert tissue paper, and Prince Albert had a Prince Albert tobacco, and the keys to the house.
And that was it?
Yeah.
And so once that was over with, you were the caretaker for your mother until she passed away at a ripe old age of 89. And the war shortly thereafter was raging on. Where were you, by the way, on December 7th, 1941, when they bombed Pearl Harbor?
I was skating on the creek.
On Jill Creek?
Yeah.
And then how'd you find out skating on the creek?
Well, we got this reported on the radio, and my brother called and said, hey, they just bombed Pearl Harbor.
And then you rushed home, and then what did your mother say to you about it?
She says, you better be careful because they're going to grab you.
And did they grab you?
Oh, yeah. 6 months later, I was over in Belgium.
So what happened in Mr. Jekovich's place, he did not enlist. If he enlisted, he probably wouldn't have been on the front line. He probably wouldn't have been in the mess of all the battles he was in. But he waited to the very end till he was drafted. This enabled him to spend more time with his mother.
Taking care of his mom.
Take care of his mother. Yeah. So as a result, you got a shit position. Front line.
10 minutes. Front
line, machine guns, death all around you. and nonstop agony. So he waited to the end, right?
Yeah.
You waited to the end. And what exactly did you do on the front line? What type of equipment did you have?
We're heavy weapons.
And what is heavy weapons?
Heavy weapons broken down the mortars, 81 and the heavy weapons, and mortars and machine guns. I was in heavy weapons and machine guns, 30 caliber.
30 caliber. And how many combat soldiers were on your team?
It's called a squad, 12 people.
So one of the members would have to carry the tripod to the machine gun.
Yeah.
How heavy was that?
That was 135 pounds.
And then he had 2 or 3 ammo bearers.
And then they had a barrier, the air-cooled, water-cooled barrier. Somebody had to carry that. And then they had to go back and forth for the ammunition.
And then the machine gun, and a lot of people don't know, as I didn't know, that machine gun is water-cooled.
Yeah.
Water-cooled. It throws out thousands of rounds a minute. And what happened to one of your team members that didn't think clearly?
Well, he was a very cool kid then, and he grabbed the receiver, and it was hot. It wasn't red hot, but it was hot. Burned all the skin off his fingers.
Right to there.
Yeah.
So if that machine gun was not water-cooled, the barrel still got hot, but it would get so hot it probably would have melted or something.
Yeah.
And then, but it's interesting fact, during the Battle of the Bulge, is the coldest winter of record. It was 20 degrees, wind chill factor, minus 30, 40, 50. How did you keep that water from freezing?
Antifreeze.
Antifreeze. And during the Battle of the Bulge, there's no spigots or lavatories. How did you get water to replace the water you used?
And quick, to aerosol tablets, fertilize the water, and use that.
So you bust open the ice from the creek,
Yeah.
and fill up your
Machines that would feed the water with the tanks, yeah.
When the war ended, did you take that machine gun and had to turn it in?
No, I didn't turn it in. When we were processed out, they had all our equipment out. They took all our equipment out, machine guns, mortars, rifles, everything. They took our pistols and everything. We were almost civilians.
Well, when you were fighting in the war, did you ever have hand-to-hand combat?
No.
When you were fighting in a war, did you use any other weapon besides a heavy machine gun?
A pistol.
Did you use that quite a bit?
No, I only did it once. Shot a guy in the leg.
I thought you, what's that?
Shot him in the leg.
Shot a guy in the leg?
I wouldn't hit any higher than that.
And the reason why you shoot the young Nazi soldiers in the leg, because it wasn't fatal.
Yeah.
It would knock them down and they'd go away.
Yeah.
You didn't want to shoot them in the gut, because that's
I don't want to kill them. They're all young kids like we were.
all same. They're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Tell us a story about that beautiful, beautiful young German soldier that had to drop on you.
Yeah, we were in a culvert walking back, and he's coming towards me, and I had my M1 down, and he came up to me, and he gave me a smile, and he says, "It's cold out here, isn't it?" In German accent, and I said, "Yeah, it's cold out." He turned around and went back.
And he turned his back to you because he knew full well that you were.
No, I wouldn't shoot him. Yeah.
He would. I hope that young German soldier had a beautiful, long life. I truly do. And that's an example why I believe there's more good people in this world than there is bad. That's an example I'll never forget. There's more good people in this world than bad. For example, if it wasn't that young, handsome Nazi soldier that had to drop on you, that didn't kill you, what would the situation be if it was an SS?
They wouldn't ask any questions. They'd shoot me in the head.
They wouldn't care.
Yeah.
SS. A lot of the SS went to the Nuremberg trials. They found out the hard way that you better be humane. War is war, but you better be damn humane to your fellow man, because a lot of those died of hanging. A lot of those died of hanging.
Well, they were hanged or they were shot.
And interesting, another animal from the SS who was noted for burning young soldiers and Jews alive in the concentration camps. It's like, karma is a bitch. What you serve out, you'll be given. And so this soldier from the SS, for somehow, he escaped death, and he ended up living in a small apartment in Paris. And a small house in Paris. He was an SS animal. Somehow he beat the system and he wasn't killed at the Nuremberg trials. So 25 or 26 years later, he was in a small house in Paris, and his death came as he killed many Jews and American soldiers by flamethrowers. Have you seen many flamethrowers?
Yeah.
His house died. His house got mysteriously set on fire, and he died the death of being burned to death alive, and no one even investigated it. No one gave a shit. Yeah. And so what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
He used those flamethrowers, killing all these beautiful innocent people. So his death came one night, house is on fire, and he goes with it. Minutes, please.
Three and a half.
3.5?
Yeah.
So.
How'd you stay warm?
How'd you stay warm?
How to stay warm?
In the fields, full of snow.
Well, you try to keep your socks and your feet wet, dry. If you don't keep your feet dry, you're going to freeze.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the defense mechanism of the body is shivering. Shivering is your defense mechanism. However, once a soldier hasn't eaten in 2, 3, and 4 days, that defense mechanism of shivering no longer works. So many times you freeze to death, you get frostbite, you lose a foot, you lose a hand, you lose a finger, you lose an ear.
You get delusional too.
And very delusional, correct.
Yeah.
So cold weather on a body, it wreaks havoc.
Did you guys have fires or anything like that to keep warm?
Fires were.
Like
at the Battle of the Bulge.
At the Battle of the Bulge.
No, we weren't allowed to go in the house. We could go in the barn, but we couldn't go in the house because they had them all zeroed in.
Yeah. So tell us an example that's a good point. When you went into the bar and you ran out by Pat, tell us what happened.
To say again?
Tell us about when you were in a barn, cold as hell, and shortly thereafter you got run out by Patton. What happened?
Well, Post I told Post, camouflage the Jeep in the trailer so nobody sees it. So we get some rest in that damn barn with the heater, at least we get warm. And Patton spotted the Jeep, he looked around, he come in the barn, and he said, "Get your asses up and get the hell out, go to that checkpoint now. Go, 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 go."
And that was it?
That was
it. What time
was it?
3 o'clock in the morning.
So you didn't even have a chance to get warm.
No, it was raining out too.
Yeah. And was that the last time you seen him?
Yeah, Patton? Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he got killed with a Jeep or a farm car. Yeah.
In an accident. Minutes, please.
Minute and 20 seconds.
So that was something. That was really something. So we're still on Mr. Jeckovich's book. We're on page 710. And this is chapter 22. And it's titled Wedding and the Poconos.
1 minute.
So, what did you remember about the wedding?
My wedding?
What do you remember about your wedding?
Well, we had a good crowd. My mother and, my father was dead, he was around. But my mother set the wedding up and set the thing up and got the catering and that.
And you had your brothers there?
My brother's there, yeah.
You had your sister there?
My sister was there.
You had Millie there?
Yeah, and I had Uncle Andy there and Uncle Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
And Bernice and Sophie.
And where did you have the reception at?
What was it, on Polish Nook.
Okay.
On East Fall Street.
And then from there, you left for the honeymoon, and where was that?
That was in the Poconos.
Hey, 13 seconds. I noticed John's moving his feet a lot. Why are you doing that?
Is your foot hurting you from frostbite?
What?
You're moving your foot. Is your foot hurting you right now from
This one right here is, yeah.
frostbite?